menhirs still today in almost every country.
The number of ancient menhirs located throughout Europe is staggering. And many historians have wondered, why were so many monoliths created during the same time period?
Travel and trade had been standard for thousands of years. People are observant, and they like to remember and replicate and interpret and represent. So if somebody's travelled to, say, Rudstown in East Yorkshire, and then they go back to Germany, and they say, I saw these amazing stones, let's have a go at making them. It's not impossible that people may have just observed this and then imitated it.
Is it possible that the phenomenon surrounding the Utah monolith was actually history repeating itself? And that humans have actually been imitating each other by building monoliths for thousands of years?
It's interesting that people don't want to take credit in modern times for creating these monuments. And that may give us some insight into the mentality of the people that built ancient monoliths. They didn't carve their names in there, and it perhaps was not about them either. It was about the human compunction to make a piece of immortality.
Are human beings hardwired to create and then replicate monoliths? Well, if that's true, then it's intriguing to think that we share this instinct with our ancient ancestors. And based on the number of monoliths being constructed today, it seems that humanity's compulsion to build these mysterious structures shows no signs of stopping. August 2022 treasure Each year, around 150,000 people celebrate the oldest arts festival in all of Europe, which is known as the National Eisteddfod. Since 1176 AD, the Eisteddfod has been an annual celebration of Welsh culture that includes music,
I got the cash,
dancing, and more. The most
Violence.
curious part of the festival is that every year a set of 12 monoliths, known as Gorset stones, are carved and then carefully placed in a circle. Although most of the Gorset stone circles have been built in the last 200 years, they closely resemble the thousands of ancient monoliths that can be found throughout the British Isles.
At each of these Eisteddfods, a Gorset stone circle was created so that there are now quite a number of them throughout Wales. And each one was resurrecting the beliefs and practices of a very ancient tradition to celebrate Welsh history and culture and tradition.
Unlike the Utah monolith phenomenon, which was a modern interpretation of standing structures, the Gorset stones are a literal recreation of the monoliths of the past. But what inspires the residents of modern-day Wales to erect pillars of stone? Well, some historians believe that people remain fascinated by ancient monoliths because these giant standing stones that were laid thousands of years ago are still part of our world today.
Everywhere in Europe, there is some sort of megalithic architecture that modern communities are identifying themselves with. Sometimes monoliths are actually just right along a country road. People pass it every day like it's an everyday object, but it's thousands of years old. And it's become part of that community. In some regards, perhaps that was the intention of the people who built it thousands of years ago.
Standing stones are striking, awe-inspiring, inexplicable, and this is a very compelling combination. It doesn't matter whether they were built this year or 6,000 years ago. They're fascinating. But why? Well, why are we fascinated by anything out of the ordinary? Because it's magnificent, it's humbling. It fills us with wonder.
Yeah.
The great thing about
Solid
monoliths
murder and then,
is that they
murder
are
maybe.
enduring. And once it's there, it's highly visible in the landscape.
Trying to sneak away
And
and
it
I
goes
screwed it
on
up.
forever. But they are enigmatic. Because
Sheriff's
of
agree,
the
guy.
lost analysis, the big eternal question remains, why were they built? That is a mystery which we may never solve.
Was Stonehenge created to harness the energy of the earth?
Hair's all messed up.
Were the statues of Monte Prama actually based on real-life giants? Was there a global network of interconnected ancient stone monuments? Perhaps. But while mysterious monuments around the world were built to stand the test of time,
I don't have my camo egg.
and their power
Got the camo egg in
remain
here.
unexplained. Sunken ships filled with priceless cargo. Lost cities made entirely of gold. And ancient temples that conceal untold riches. There's something about hidden treasure that captures our imaginations. The idea that a vast fortune could be buried underground or lying. It inspires me. Stop it when we're searching for fame and fortune. But are these treasures merely the stuff of
I didn't know the
myth?
sheriff was behind me.
Or are some of them so well hidden that they just haven't been found yet? Well, that is what we'll try and find out.
No, I did kill someone. I was about to jump up and catch somebody else. The sheriff killed me. I need the camo egg.
Accra, Israel. Located on the eastern shore of the Mediterranean
Why are
Sea,
people climbing me?
this bustling port city contains remarkable ruins that date back thousands of years. And there are those who believe that one of the most sought-after treasures in history is hidden within these ancient ruins. The Holy Grail.
For archaeologists, Acre is hugely significant. It's one of the oldest continuously inhabited places on Earth, going back 5,000 years. There's literally layers of history there still being discovered.
No!
But also, significant
Egg!
the last place the Holy Grail is believed to end up during the Crusades.
The Holy Grail? The chalice that Jesus drank from at the Last Supper? For centuries, many have embarked on quests in search of this sacred artifact. Not only because it would be priceless, but also because it is thought to possess divine power. While many have sought to find the Holy Grail, it's believed that this precious relic was once in the hands of a group of medieval warrior monks known as the Knights Templar.
The Knights Templar were a very curious order of monks. They were sworn, in fact, to protect pilgrims to the Holy Land in the Crusades. They were professional soldiers, the elite fighting force of Europe. And they became immensely wealthy and immensely powerful.
But many believe that the Templars had, if you want, an ulterior secret mission. And that was to look for the Holy Grail and other sacred relics all over the Holy Land. If they did find the Holy Grail, there was nowhere better for the Knights Templar to bring their treasure securely than to Acre. which was a safe city with big thick walls around it,
Throwing
as well
barrels.
as to defend the citizens from external attack.
Oh, damn it. Then was the F.
That the Knights Templar brought the Holy Grail from Jerusalem to Acre. Could it still be hidden in the ruins that lie within the city? Eliezer Stern is an archaeologist with the Israel Antiquities Authority. For nearly 3 decades, he has overseen excavations of a massive underground Templar fortress that lies beneath the Church of St. Andrew in Acre.
We are now in the old city of Acre and in the premises of the St. Andrew's Church. This church is very, very interesting because it's built in the 18th century, but it's built on foundation and the ruins from the 13th century, from the Crusader and the Templar period.
Under the church, Stern has been investigating a sprawling network of 13th century tunnels and crypts.
Your friend Ryland has joined the game.
May reveal valuable information about the Templars' activities in
Steelers want to team you, sir.
Now we are 800 years before what we've seen. Here we are in the premises of the Templar
I cannot
Quarter.
good English.
We understand that they use it as the treasury of the Templars. They used to bring a lot of money into the treasury house in this tower.
The Knights Templar had this brilliant system. They actually built tunnels to what they called a treasure tower. So when there was a siege going on, they would take the treasures that they've come across throughout their occupation and their fighting down the tunnels and into the tower.
Murder's out.
In addition to excavating the Templar treasury, Stern and his team have unearthed more chambers that are located approximately 10 feet beneath the main crypt. But these monumental discoveries have revealed only a fraction of this mysterious medieval city.
We find now only 2 or 3% of the city. There is another 90% of the Crusader building and the Crusader city that lay beneath the Ottoman that's still waiting for covering in the future.
For Grail hunters, any new excavations in Acre is obviously tremendously exciting. And it's a city that's still holding up its secrets. And so there is a very good chance that some of the treasure of the Templars, including the Holy Grail, are there waiting to be discovered.
Is the Holy Grail hidden somewhere within the ruins of the Templar fortress?
Ryland's the murderer.
Perhaps. But some researchers believe that the Templars took the Holy Grail to Europe and that it could actually be hidden, not in Israel,
Ryland, feel the murderer. Work
but in
twice.
churches and chapels located across
Feel the
the
murderer.
world.
Work twice.
As the Knights Templar lost their influence in the Holy Land, the Holy Grail could have made its way to any number of places. Rennes-le-Château in France is often associated with that. This is the place where things would traditionally be hidden.
Researchers have long speculated that the Holy Grail is hidden at a well-known Knights Templar structure in Europe, such as Rennes-le-Château,
Get away from me!
or perhaps Roslin Chapel in Scotland. But recently, new evidence
Trying to get out of the way so I can get my eggs.
that the Templars may have actually kept the Grail beneath a small church located in a remote part of Poland.
No, I
The
need my
Church of
eggs.
St. Stanislaus in the western part of modern Poland is a red brick chapel that, in appearance, really looks more like a fortress. And the year of its construction, 1232, was very much the height of Templar building activity across Europe. As recently as 2020, a research team using ground-penetrating radar